our expertise around behavior. Sure, there are other people doing behavior, but we're the experts. We have the most signals, the most robust data science models, and quite frankly, not me, but the smartest people working on this. We have some brilliant data scientists and PhDs that are working on our technology. So we would take our expertise in this field above anybody.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Greg Richardson, Senior Director of Global Sales at NeuroID. Greg, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Andrew. Thanks for having me.
My distinct pleasure. Appreciate you spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and about NeuroID.
Yeah, sure. So, as you said, my name is Greg. I've been with NeuroID since the start of 2023. I've been in the identity verification space for about the last 7-8 years, sales and marketing capacities, mainly focused in document-centric verification, but then later I've moved to more of the platform, adding in API signals from various other providers to get a holistic view of the identity verification space.
In a moment, I'll ask you to verify the identity of the four-legged creature that just appeared behind you.
That's right. Sorry about that.
No worries at all. Tell us a little bit more about NeuroID and the platform you're referencing.
Yeah, so NeuroID serves in the behavior monitoring, behavior analytics space.
Okay.
So it's a niche space, relatively new-ish to the identity verification ecosystem. So what we're doing is looking at how an individual is entering their information on a website or on an app to really understand, are they familiar with their data, or have they potentially stolen that information and are posing as an individual, either going through maybe a new account opening process or even an existing login situation. So our behavior technology can say, are they trying to maybe take over an account and, or like I said, start a fictitious new account?
So in effect, you're capturing trends in behavior and whether a person is entering their information in a slightly different manner than the previous 10 attempts, kind of thing.
Not necessarily against the previous attempts. So our machine learning model stands alone. So we look at, you coming in the first time or the 100th time in a unique format, and we're looking at that behavior in that moment in isolation to say, is that indicative of a fraudster, which is a key differentiator between us and other folks that are doing this sort of thing. And there aren't very many, but a lot of people know the term behavior biometrics, thinking of, okay, how do I hold my phone and how do I interact with it? And then over time saying, hey, that's Greg's typical pattern, or that's Andrew's typical pattern. We don't do that. We don't store any PII when it comes to new account opening. So we're all anonymized, and it's in isolation, looking at that individual user.
Okay, important distinction. I thought maybe it was trend related, but it is single case sort of situation.
Correct.
Very interesting. What's the origin story of NeuroID? How long they've been in business?
Yeah, another key thing that we like to highlight is we're the leaders, we're the experts in behavior. We were founded by neuroscience PhDs. These are professors, still professors at BYU and a couple other places, and really dive into the research about human deception online, really studying the physiological changes that take place when an individual poses as another person online. Think almost like in the frame of a lie detector test, but using that with a keyboard, with a mouse, with a touch screen. So years, decades of research and iteration of behavior and then computer sciences ultimately led to our technology. So we lead with behavior, but lately we've actually added on layers of other sorts of things to enhance our behavior technology. But that understanding of behavior is first and foremost where we came from.
Excellent. And when did that happen? When did NeuroID open their doors?
Yeah, so commercialized about 6-7 years ago, and it really started with customized models, customized data science models for each of our clients, which worked very well, but also, is not the most scalable model. So it's only really been in the last handful of years that we've productized, I think that's a word, what, our scalable or our models to make it more scalable. And so we've now, we do a lot of customization on top of the core product, core products. But for the most part, we're able to more rinse and repeat in a more of a product fashion to grow the company to where we want to grow it to.
Excellent. And who are your clients? What verticals are you servicing with this platform?
Sure. First and foremost, financial institutions, large banks, maybe more on a direct relationship, and then through a channel network, maybe more smaller financial institutions, insurance companies, as well as other fintechs. Those are probably our core three, big three. Of course, online lending is in there as well. Anywhere where you're going to start a new relationship with somebody and there's money involved. I mean, fraudsters, cash is still king. They still want to take money more than anything else. So when there's money exchanging hands, money transfer is also a thing. That's when we're really going to play well. Whenever there's a lot of identity verification technology needed for regulatory reasons or otherwise, we want to sit at the very first touch of that new client.
Absolutely. Anytime you're asked for your social security number, there's a deep gulp that most people make when they type it in, right?
That's exactly right.
Other than basic fraud protection, what are the most common problems you're solving for your clients?
Yeah, well, fraud detection is obviously number one, but there's a nuance to it, right? So we're going to sit in the very first page. Our technology is really simple JavaScript that's going to sit on that very first page, the very first touch of human interaction. And with as few as 3 fields of behavior data, we're able to make a pretty solid deterministic signal as to whether that user is potentially fraudulent. And that not only stops the fraudster from doing, fraudster things, it also has the benefit of eliminating the other KYC costs that let's say a bank in that case would need to go through to ultimately get to the same conclusion. So, they're going to waste $1, $2, $3 on all of these other verification technologies to ultimately say, oh, that's a bad person. I don't want to let them through their front door. When you could pay, sub 50 cents, oftentimes sub 25 cents for a mix of technologies that include behavior monitoring, boy, wouldn't it be better to weed that person out, at a lower price point than, go through all the things just to get to the same conclusion. So that operational savings is absolutely critical. And it sits behind the scenes, right? So it's privacy preserving because we don't collect any PII, and it doesn't add any friction to the experience because it lives under the covers. So those are a lot of key benefits to what we have to offer.
And this is executed in real time, meaning when someone goes through those 3 first when somebody goes through those first 3 pieces of entry data, you're able to shut them out right there if your algorithm determines that there is nefarious intent there.
Yeah, correct. So we're delivering our signals back in real time through an API. And then depending on the customer of ours, they might want to do different things with the individual and depending on the signal that we provide, right? Everybody's custom, meaning sometimes somebody says, hey, NeuroID, when you say red flag, we want to, nuke them all together. Others say, look, we have more of a risk tolerance. So we're going to certainly take that into consideration, but we have a lot of other things that we want to do to verify that, right? Some people take us as the signal, some people take us as a signal. So it really just depends on risk tolerance, client, what they're trying to achieve as to what they ultimately do with that.
I'm sure the magnitude of the the dollars in play at that given moment have a lot to do with that sort of tolerance for risk. What
Absolutely.
what differentiates NeuroID from your competitors? What makes you stand out in your field?
Yeah, we love to lead with three key things. One, our expertise around behavior. Sure, there are other people doing behavior, but we're the experts. We have the most signals, the most robust data science models, and quite frankly, not me, but the smartest people working on this. We have some brilliant data scientists and PhDs that are working on our technology. So we would take our expertise in this field above anybody. That's one. Two is that day one value of entering in the JavaScript really easy. We're able to make determinations on day one and into traffic, into live production traffic to say, hey, this is what we're seeing, right? So that day one value, ease of installation and day one value is two. And then three is probably the ongoing consultative services. So this is unique to me in that no company I've ever worked for has had the ongoing touch with its customers like we do. So we get the real-time fraud alerts for your organization as well. So we have people that are looking at these all the time. So if we see a spike, we're reaching out proactively and saying, hey, we're seeing a spike in fraud rings or bot activity or whatever. We want to make sure you're alerted, you know what to do with our signals, and that you're being protected, because the more value they see in what we deliver, obviously the better for us and our reputation in the industry. So that's something that I don't think we play up enough, is our ongoing touch with our customers and helping keep them safe.
Hey, a human touch in a highly technical field is just is an excellent plus, right?
That's right.
Relationships are still everything, even though it's a digital world we live in. Speaking of that digital world, the last couple of years have been a broad change. COVID has opened the world to remote working at a level that I don't think anybody saw coming. Companies have more exposure at more touch points than ever. What have the COVID years been like for NeuroID? Have you managed to grow the business in the last couple of years?
Sure. Well, like everybody, I mean, it was an adjustment. There was a struggle time. I mean, we all were in the same boat together, right? So there's no line about that. But what it has done is it's created more of an environment where things like us are needed to help protect companies from financial loss. Also, in addition to COVID has really accelerated the other technology advancements like AI and other things where the fraudsters have gotten a lot smarter in the last handful of years. Maybe they were cooped up too long and had the ability to create new things. And so us layering on what we do for other clients has really been beneficial to helping stop fraud and enhance the fraud stacks. So, long story short, it has helped us in terms of making it more of a market for us, but it's also obviously made it more of a challenge because fraudsters have gotten very, very smart, and there's a lot more things that we have to consider.
Well, hey, it's always a chase, right? Somebody comes up with
Absolutely.
a protective layer and somebody just figures out how to break through. It is a cat and mouse game that just continues on through time. Tell me what role content has played in the growth of NeuroID.
Yeah, absolutely. In this space, it is still relatively new, meaning behavior analytics, behavior biometrics, that whole sphere of using behavior like we're defining behavior, that is new. So we need to let the world know, one, that this technology exists, and two, that we're the leaders in it, that, we're NeuroID and here's why you should care. So content creation for us is pinnacle. I mean, we have dedicated content marketing staff who are doing a fantastic job of just cranking things out and trying to let the world know who we are. And hey, you should talk to us and we can really help. We have real problems, or you have real problems out there that we can solve. Let us tell you about it.
Excellent. All right. Look a year down the road. What are some things you'd like to be celebrating personally and professionally?
Yeah, I think professionally, I am working with a lot of very large clients who are going through some version of a trial. It would be a real win for myself professionally, and more importantly, the company, if those converted into long-term customers. Obviously, we feel like it's trending that way, but you never know until it's done. So that's one, is closing some of those big clients, because we have a couple big logos under the umbrella of NeuroID. And if we get a couple of these others, it's really going to elevate the status of the organization, which is great. I want to personally continue to develop not only my sales skills, my leadership skills, and I think there's some real value there, not only for me, but obviously for NeuroID and what we're trying to achieve. So I think that generic answer is probably where I'd go with that one.
Excellent. All right. Well, hey, please tell us what your URL is. Where can people find NeuroID, and what social media outlets are you using these days as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's neuro-id.com. We are all over all the socials, LinkedIn, obviously, primary, Twitter and Instagram as well. I think you can find us on Facebook as well. I might want to mention that one as well. You'll also see us. We are out hitting the streets. We are on the trade show circuit. You can see a NeuroID person or people at any identity, fintech, financial show in the lower 48. We and sometimes in Canada. We're all over the place. Again, just trying to get our name out there so people know who we are in this space. Because again, little old NeuroID out of Whitefish, Montana, doesn't carry the name cachet quite yet. But I think we will, as like I mentioned, as we close some of these larger customers.
Excellent. Greg Richardson of NeuroID, thank you for spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. All the best to you and yours, and continued success at NeuroID.
Appreciate the opportunity, Andrew. Thank you.
Be well.